Heyo, role players! I am Shrek, or Mr. Shreckles, and this is the Check20 podcast, or whatever it might be in the future. Future me will edit that if it changes. So today, we're going to talk about what Check20 is, why Check20 is, and just kind of get a basis for it, because we're making something. I want to get the people in on it. And this is what we're calling my enrichment room, but it's technically a nursery. So let's not think about that, okay? Kicked my baby out so that I can play on my computer. Okay? That's important. I am Shrek, Mr. Shreckles, lead developer, creator of Check20. We have here also, and I'm not going to point out who goes next. I'm going to just gesture vaguely, and then someone else.
Yo! This is Troll. Hey, what's up? I'm Drew. I go by Troll. I guess co-creator. I didn't know we had to have titles. I'm just the guy who advocates for the player who's got a shitty narrator.
I would
and the
say
narrator
lead,
who's got shitty players.
Make you like the lead destroyer.
Lead destroyer, I fucks with that.
Yeah.
I'm
Ruiner
just here to
of
fuck shit
things
up.
in the nicest way possible. Destroy. We'll just destroy.
If you see a line of text in the game and you're like, ooh, that sounds like that could break the game, trust me, I tried it and we tested it, and it's still fun even if you break it. That's me.
And then the next up,
my name is Aaron. I am also a co-creator. I am just a humble player, sometimes narrator.
I mean, to be fair, you've inputted some of the most technical stuff, the back end. You did huge work on the Roll20 character sheet. Finally, last person to introduce themselves.
I'm Builder. I'm another player. I've been helping test the game for 4 years now, something like that.
4 years already?
I think it's probably been more than that. Because I'll just get right into it. Builder is big play tester. He's an idea guy for sure. But Check20 has been in development honestly since I started playing 5e. I would tweak the rules here and there, try to make some homebrew that fit with what I was trying to make, and it eventually just started falling apart to the point where I was like, oh, this isn't D&D anymore. This isn't 5e. I should be making my own thing. So I made my own thing. I think it was playable, something that we could actually run beyond like having Google Sheets up and having another program up or something like that, having Roll20 up. I think it has been playable for about 4 years, though. Like, worth showing off. Now it feels fun, honestly. I don't think... Maybe it's because it's my hyper focus, but it is my most favorite thing to play, for sure. That's for dang sure.
It definitely feels like it's in like a beta stage, you know.
Yeah,
it's not. We're past alpha at this point, you know.
For sure.
Alpha was so much fun though. Breaking the game was my favorite part.
Yeah, it still is. To be fair, and it's still constantly changing. Also, to be fair, I really don't know what it's going to look like over the years. Unlikely to stay exactly as it is now, that's for sure. So, let's just start talking about it. I think I'm gonna go through notes. Yeah, I'm gonna just go through my notes here. Start talking about what I was thinking about. If you guys have solid things to add or anything you want to expand upon, feel free. Jump in. Except, let me have my space a little bit, you know. Let me have my space a
I
little
know.
bit, but jump in. So as I said, it started as a mod to 5e, basically. It started as that's the idea of it, right? Where I don't like how this is working. I don't like how this is working. I didn't like how D20 rolls. When you rolled really high, it was the exact same as rolling exactly what you needed to. That never really felt right. So that got adjusted into like this huge subsystem of the Success Plus. I always did like I'm kind of going off everywhere, but I always did a DC 15 for everything in D&D because that felt right. So those two things sort of became the backbone of I think what Check20 is, because everything succeeds on a 15, and you know successes increase into something greater. Yeah, I think that's the skeleton of it, right? And then building on that was obviously the player experience, which you guys are the most experienced in. Um, I love options. I have built so many different homebrew things for D&D, and it 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 shows. I think it shows the love of customization and stuff like that. And check to I humble brag, sure, give it to the next guy or whatever. But yeah, um, I love fifth level of D&D. I think that's the it factor for me. It's where you start getting like your character starts to turn on, right? Like the features and stuff that really show what kind of character you are start to happen, but it's also still risky enough where a pack of wolves is something to like stop and deal with. Level 20, it doesn't matter. Like they can't hit you. And I hated that. I hated that vertical scaling of D&D, and I really try to provide a lot of horizontal scaling in Check20. And what that means, horizontal versus vertical scaling in a TTRPG, in other games too, but vertical is health go up, damage go up, all the numbers just go up. And horizontal is options. Horizontal is like instead of just getting a attack that deals more damage, having that attack when you do the attack, something else happens. Something minor changes. Some new option happens. Maybe that's movement. Maybe that's additional attack or something like that, which is technically damage scaling, but everything's pretty tight. Also, I really like the idea of Pathfinder's 3-action system, but I stayed away from it because there's something about having designated actions that felt right. So we have the action, we have having that to have 2 half actions, off action, and movement, right? And those things are really tight now. I wasn't sure how they were going to be, but I have had people say that, like, you really have to make the decision between, am I going to take an action? Am I going to take 2 half actions? And all of those mean something. And, one of the other reasons I did that was if you're paying attention, this game gives you so much. Because we started, the biggest factor was playing online, playing on Roll20, playing D&D on Roll20, where I couldn't adjust the character sheet, or we couldn't like just grab a blank piece of paper and do what we wanted, right? It was really stuck within the confines of 5e.
I could jump in here.
Uh,
So it's like in 5e we had all these like cool stuff. Like as players and narrators, DMs, we have all these cool things that like potential in a scene. With 5e, you're only allowed to interact with the scene in so many ways. And so I think a lot of what I like about Check 20 is there's a lot more of that horizontal scaling you were talking about for options for things to do on your turn. Also, I'm proud that not just mages have to take a few minutes to read through all their skills for their
right.
turn. Every class
Yeah.
can take some time to read their features. It's not just mage who takes a 12-minute turn and everybody else is done in 30 seconds. Like everybody can take a few minutes. Really
Yeah.
plan their creative actions. Yeah.
So just to build on what Troll said, I had like a holy shit, like the first holy shit, this game is awesome moment when we were doing an arena, which is one of the many one shot
Yeah.
play tests that we did of just battles. And
It wasn't just like one
I-
shot. It was constant. We just constantly would run just fights.
yeah, just fights.
Just to see how it works.
And during one of those, we were just playing base level characters, no progressions. And like Troll was saying, I was like, it still felt like chess, you know, for lack of a better term. It still felt like, okay, what's the optimal move here? I have so many options between the different, just the base level actions, half actions, and off actions, and it really felt like trying to optimize my turn the best way possible.
What's funny is that was not the intention. I definitely wanted.
It was just happy accident.
I figured that checkers is way more fun, especially playing online. But as we were making things, I wanted. It's almost hiding little clues in the mechanics of, hey, if you're paying attention, you can really get some mileage out of this system.
Mm-hmm.
Every martial class has access to stances. They have access to different off actions that isn't built into your class. It's built into the game. It's the same thing that mages can do. It's the same thing that the other classes can do. And it is chess. It is like, oh, I have all these very specific moves I can do that do these really interesting things. It's not all about attacking. It's not all about running up and hitting the monster till they die. That was all in an effort for horizontal versus vertical scaling, right?
Yeah.
One of the huge inspirations for me was Kids on Bikes, Tales from the Loop, those sort of kids in a cul-de-sac, you know, trying to solve mysteries and things like that. The reason it was such an inspiration, that particular system, you don't have health. No health in that system whatsoever. You just have a list of conditions. When you get hit or something significant happens, you take one of those conditions, whichever one sort of makes sense, or maybe it's given to you by whoever's running the game. I don't remember what their version is. Check20, it is narrator. So from now on, I'll probably be saying that. Or if I'm referencing D&D, DM, GM. So you take those conditions when you get all of the 5 or so conditions, depending on the system. You're done. Your character has to run home, or is grounded, has detention, you know, something like that. I was like, that's really interesting. That's another way to end things. It doesn't have to be this HP thing. And I tried a lot of options without HP, and it just became too many conditions. I like the D&D some of the D&D conditions. I hate D&D conditions that prevent you from playing the game. Like fear is, all right, don't go near the monster. You can't for 1 minute, which is the entire combat session for the night. Maybe even further. Like if 1 minute can be, if you have multiple people, if you have like 6 players, each of them taking, you know, a significant turn, minute, I'll see you next week, guys. I've had that where I was in like a dungeon or something like that Killian was running, and I was just out for the whole. I went and laid down on my bed, or playing online. I was like, all right, I'll get up on my turn. So that was adding those.
And a Bryce in that party though too.
Yeah. Adding conditions was adding to the horizontal scaling because I wanted the conditions to matter but not ruin things. One thing that the conditions do is allow the players to use them sort of in their chess moves, right? Two stacking conditions. Some of the conditions cause like a physical check disadvantage or a mental check disadvantage or a specific action of sorts like fear. Instead of, like I said, 5e, you just can't go towards an enemy and your attacks against them are disadvantage. I wanted to do something narrative. Fear in Check 20 is you cannot look at the source of your fear or you need to run away until the end of your next turn. Most everything is as much as possible until the end of your next turn. Specifically, end of your next turn was a key value later on in development because I was like, it'd be really fun is use that for everything, which means people can set up. That's another tactical thing. People can set up really interesting sort of engines like you would get in a trading card game, a TCG. But yeah, that's another thing. The conditions. You can lock a creature out if they have double disadvantage on something that's locked. That means you cannot use that particular check type. So if it's strength, you're fighting some ogre with a big old mallet or something like that. And in a 3-piece suit, because it's Check 20 is the setting is Czech, which is 1920s. Because he'd have a 3-piece suit, tattered 3-piece suit.
I mean, who wouldn't?
A mallet.
We'll get
You'd obviously.
Episode.
You'd be remiss. Yeah, I know. Let's not get into the lore and stuff like that. Yep. That's too much. But so double disadvantage. He's locked out on strength. The conditions are like broken, dislocated. So his arms are just swaying to either side, and the mechanics just tell that narrative already. It doesn't require you making it up. Like, you hit the monster. You did a lot of it. You crit in D&D. What'd you do? Oh, cool, you did that. Neat. Can I get a condition that shows that happened? No, we're just narratively, we know that happened. No, in this,
narratively know he's missing an arm, but he can
narratively
still his forearm strike.
Yeah.
All 4 arms of his forearm strike. Even though he's missing one.
I think there's like the rule of cool / rule of fun. There's a sense of that to all TTRPGs, and with D&D, it's like, yeah, sure, rule of cool, rule of fun, but that's like up to the GM. I feel like that is like better baked into your system. You almost heavily lean into the rule of fun.
I was surprised because I felt
narrators.
I felt like I added more rules, and somehow the more rules actually led to clean, easy play in a way that allowed that narrative element to happen. So you can double disadvantage on a monster. His arms are broken, can't do anything. Disarm him, and now. Like, oh, okay, he literally can't do anything. He's expended all of the resources. What's the fight now? Do we still just hit him? Do we still just... No. Now the game continues to play. You can now bind him, be like, hey, why are you doing this? Get information. Maybe he's, part of a crime syndicate. Maybe... Maybe you can bring him to the police or mercenary, like whatever it might be. Like something new happens, and it's not just like, well, he still has HP, so I guess we'll just keep doing it. And then at the end of the day, if he's double disadvantaged, let's not like roll to slice his throat. Let's just end this and move on. I feel like you guys have experienced a lot of that.
What I really like about that is the conditions help tell the story. Like. In the rule of cool in 5e, you have to ask for cool story beats to happen. In Check 20, you literally just do the thing. You're like, oh, you get all these extra effects. Okay, cool. As the player, I don't have to ask for cool things because cool things are already happening. Because I got a 25 and I rolled twice on my damage table. Like,
I guess I should
like-
mention that again, like why that's happening, because I touched on it for like a half of a second, which is additional successes with damage mean you get to roll on a damage table. Those damage tables cause more damage or conditions. So narratively, it just sort of happens. Yeah.
the damage tables are also themed. They make sense for
Yeah.
damage type.
Per damage type. Yeah.
Yeah. Like some are
what
all
were you-
conditions. Piercing is all bonus damage, basically.
Right. What were you gonna say, Builder? I'm sorry I cut you off.
I was just going to say, like, yeah, it's a lot more interesting. Like, oh, I hit the guy with my mace and I break his arm. Like, I didn't have to, like, ask for that. It just kind of happens.
Yeah, unless you ask for it in D&D, it's not going to happen. And I'm gonna be bashing D&D a lot. It is what got us here, though. So
Yeah,
absolute love and respect to it for sure.
Bash D&D with love.
Yeah.
It was a system that filled a void, and then we found gaps, and now we're making our own to fill those gaps.
Exactly. I just wanted to get that out of the way real quick. Should have done that at the top of the app.
I think you really allowed for a system where asking every bad guy before you get into combat, is it worth getting into this combat, you know? Like, because I feel like when we were playing 5e, Builder would always do that with every enemy, no matter what. He would always check to see if it's intelligent, and then we fight it.
Yeah.
He would always try to be diplomatic, and then you've kind of allowed for the system to be that way.
And that's it. I guess that is the question of, is that me, the narrator, providing that? Is another narrator going to provide that as well? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But if they're locked out of something, you know, you have that opportunity to ask the question, so you might as well do it. And I think those moments are allowed more when pauses like that happen. And then there's the resources that every big monster has, like the threat. I've changed capacity to threat. It's changed several times from other things as well, I'm sure, but it's very similar.
Abilities are still going to change through the episodes.
You know it.
Yeah.
So legendary actions in D&D where a monster can be like, no, I do succeed on this thing. I like that element. I don't love that element, but I try to create universal rules for everything, right? So players have different half actions. They all have the same half actions of stances, picking up an item, interacting, like all of those actions still are all the same between everybody. And it's not like lockpicking isn't hidden behind rogue stuff. Casting spells isn't hidden behind mage stuff. If you have 2 points in spirit, one of the 10 checks, you get 1 mana, which allows you to cast spells. Allows you to cast basic magic. That means like a tank can build towards that if they wanted to. It's not going to be the best build. It's not recommended because you're going to get 20 points to put into your 10 checks to a maximum of 10 at character creation. So a tank can put 10 into spirit and get 5 mana. A mage at character creation has spell points equal to a stat. So they're getting 10, recovering exponentially more. And then they can put 10 into whatever their spellcasting check is, put another 10 into spirit and get the same, if not more. Aaron?
What I really like about spellcasting in this system, and I think Troll will agree here, is there's no restrictions on spells out the gate. Like, you have access to the entire spell list. And then from there, you want to cast a spell, like with more power, you just unload more spell points into it, and that's
mana. We do mana now. I know it's tough. We We just
Yeah.
changed from spell points to mana.
Yeah.
It just feels more fun.
It does feel
more
better.
thematic.
But yeah,
spell
so
points feels so we're playing a game. But anyways,
Mhm.
Yeah, you guys know the spells were the toughest part for me. I wanted it
Oh,
to
yeah.
be.
Yeah.
I
The
wanted
discussion for the mage class was the longest.
I still
Yeah.
really like the mana transmission system as like a
Yeah.
sandbox.
Yeah.
So that's still
it's
there.
good if you
Custom
can't
build
find the
spells
spell
for
in
it.
your spell.
So
book.
let me explain.
Yeah.
Let me explain to the
Please.
one guy
Okay,
that
yeah.
ends up
Break
watching
down
this.
mage.
What what we're talking about here. So it used to be that the car ride back from Builder is in Oregon. We're down here,
Yeah.
middle of California. 8-hour car ride, if not more. There and back again. But there and back again. We didn't have the conversation there, but you get what I'm saying. On the way back, we're like, all right, what spell couldn't we make with these particular manner and transmission? So it was how you do something and what you're, how you're doing it, right? So it was things like domineer was one of the main words, domineer, and then material, if you want to adjust a material thing. Domineer, astral, domineer, blah, 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 blah. And we started to just go through like what each 5e spell would be. What's fireball, stuff like that. And when we first started, we just tried to rebuild everything. Even like offered Troll a bunch of money to go through all the spells and sort of translate it into Check20, which
halfway through.
would have been a terrible idea. And like by the end, we wouldn't be currently using that. So I'm kind of glad we didn't do that. I think the crafting idea we had mixed with what we have now, like it mixed with the spell book idea. I was really against having a spell book. I don't know if it was me not wanting wanting to write spells. I'm not sure if it was that or if it was I don't think we were ready to write spells yet. I don't think I knew what the spells were going to look like. And then honestly, the biggest factor, we rode all the way down from Washington, just discovered every spell we can make with it, and we're like, cool, that's a great idea. And I was like, all right, so we'll just keep it as a crafting dynamic magic. We'll just never make a spell book. And I was playing D&D with my 20-year-old daughter, and I was like, hey, you're playing a cleric. You have like 80 spells in your spell book. Is that fun? Like, yeah, that's the best part. Like, why? You get to read that at the beginning of every session. It's like, well, every little thing you throw at us is like a lock, and then all of the spells are like a key, so that I just find the right spell for the moment. I'm like, fine. All right, spell book is on. We're doing it. We're making spells, but I'm doing it different. So spell intent, right? There's 1, 3, 6, 9, 12, and 24. Starts as a whisper until you're shouting a cataclysm into existence. The reason I chose that is because I could then slot in the weak spells into stronger spells and then group them together was specifically the thing that I liked the most. Because I hated in 5e, there's just a million spells, and other systems too have just a million spells, and why is Fireball, Firebolt, and Meteor Storm not all grouped together in one spell like system? So that's what we've done. Each spell starts as a basic thing, like the light spell starts as just casting light, and then it goes on into, summoning, like at the highest level, you're summoning the sun, dealing solar damage to everyone around. I'm a big fan of how it's turning out too. To to say the least. And I was avoiding letting monsters use spells, and now I'm implementing those into the stat blocks. I'm like, man, I really want them to use that thing I already made. Oh, that's why they use spell. Okay, that makes sense. All right, let me get back on track here. Let's see, where was I? I have almost not touched the outline, if I'm going to be honest with you. It's just
checks 20.
That checks 20 in some systems.
How
around.
How would one create a character?
I think we're at checks. I don't think I've even discussed what all the checks are, right? Shouldn't I?
We have not talked about any game specifics.
I do.
We haven't done anything specific, and that's what's sick.
I do.
That's for later.
Take a second. The spellcraft, I will list the manners and transmissions. The manner in which you shape your spells are decay, discern, domineer, and manifest. The transmissions, which will
seen on the screen here,
elements of your spells are going to be aether, astral, corpus, elemental, material, and verdance. That's it. Those were the options. We could make any spell in D&D, any spell you could ever think of in any media we can make with these 1, 2, 3, 4.
And it's still true.
10 categories.
You can also adjust any spell that's already. So I did 1, 3, 6, 9, 12, 24 because now you're casting a spell that's like 3 points, but you want to adjust the writing of it, the narrative of it, just so slightly. Like, oh, well, I could just bring it down to 2 if you only want this area effect to affect one person, or if you want just one more thing, just one more minor thing to happen, add another point. Add another mana to that, and that makes sense. So, yeah, we like it for now. Mage feels good. Speaking of Mage, let's go back. Let's talk about the classes. Definitely. Thank you, Aaron, for kind of getting us on track here.
You mentioned not talking about the checks. I feel like you should probably talk about
checks. Okay. You're right. So there's 10 checks. 5 physical, 5 mental.
Well, what are checks?
Checks is the main way you play the game.
Your stats.
Yeah.
Skills, whatever. There are no main stats. It's just
there's no skills.
Checks.
They are the main stats, right? They are the main everything. There's no skills. It all fits under these 10 options here. Let me pull up my Check20 app so I can list them off because I know I could do it, but there'd be some stuttering and thinking.
I got you. We have.
So I said I'm doing it.
Okay. Heard.
Son of a biscuit. So for physical checks, agility, crafting, stealth, strength, survival. Mental checks, we have influence, intellect, luck, observation, and spirit. Could easily go into all these, but that would take a while. They kind of do what they say. I don't think I need to get into what does agility do? What does strength do? I think luck would be the only one. Like, what does that do? It's like you hope for the best. You hope you find out what luck does. I'd say influence is charisma. Survival is constitution and surviving. So with those, you do not roll dice to determine what those values are. You have 20 points to put into those 10 checks. The suggested spread being 10, 5, 3, and 2. I usually, personally, will put 10 into whatever the main engine of the character is. So if it's a tank, it's usually agility or strength. If it is there's tank, professional, support, merchant, and mage. So tank is you're going to be your frontline fighter. Professional is going to be a little bit of everything else. They are not as healthy as the tank, but you can make a build that's glass cannon, can put some numbers down. Their little feature that they get is a couple more points into their checks at character creation, which can go a long way. Yeah, specialist. Was their first name actually? Was specialist. The support is your healer. Everything like that. Kind of, we're finding pretty pivotal to have one in every party because they can remove conditions that are more like a broken bone heals the length of a broken bone. We did conditions pretty realistic in that way, which means you better find a healer, you better have one in the party, you better know one in town, in the big city, wherever you're playing. I'll talk about mage next. It's pretty imperative. I'll talk about mage next. As we talked about, is mages cast spells. They are the spell doers. And then finally, the merchant. Now that one recently changed. It's been in progress for a while. I was trying to make this like downtime master, and it wasn't a meta enough build to be fun, because it was like, oh, okay, so can we just stay in town and play the game there? Like, oh, well, we still want to go on an adventure. Like, just because it's the 1920s, like, there's still adventure to be had. There's still dragons. There's still going into sewers and fighting rats of unusual size. I don't believe they exist, though. So the merchant was in a place that wasn't too fun. Like, oh, cool, I could miss on every attack, but like if we talk to somebody, I'll do pretty good. Recently changed that to be that they have the ability to recharge your once per days. So anybody that has a once per day action, like the merchant's got you. And they can also dupe a potion and some other stuff that probably will need some adjustment later, but for now, I like it. I'm excited to see that in playtests a little bit more.
Okay, so the support would be like their mechanical support, and the merchants will be like the economic support.
Exactly. Yeah, and I feel like that really hit right.
I like to think of the merchant as like the tactician. Like, have you ever played Fire Emblem? Like, you have the one guy who's commanding your whole army kind of thing.
Dude, I almost want to say
that role too.
The merchant's almost like a meta tactician, where like you as a player need to be tactical in a way that traditional TTRPGs aren't set up for you to play, right? You're like, I need more to this. And you can invest into businesses and in other characters and creatures and NPCs and stuff.
I really slap on the wrist for metagaming. And Check20, I've got a whole class for that.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel like you've done a great job at making like support classes and the merchant class fun and playable, because I feel like support is like a stigma. They're like, oh, no one wants to play support. But like, one of the support classes allows you to be like a puppet master, and it's just
one of them. You can create a door to your own personal speakeasy at any time. Like, they have some really broken stuff, but they're probably going to miss on their attacks, so it's fine, I guess.
And along the same lines, the merchant, you have chefs and gamblers and brewmasters. It's just like, it's fun time.
It's really fun. You make a senshi from Delicious in Dungeon very easy in my system.
I don't want to get into paths and talents until we get to that section.
Okay, well,
that was a teaser.
I mean, that was the teaser. Now that was the segue. So we got paths and talents, right? So you get your class. So you have a species, right? That gives you one feature. That's all the species does, and that's all I'm going to talk about for species. Other than the fact there's 171 options currently. A lot of categories, so it's not that intimidating. It's not as intimidating as you think. But one feature from species. You get one or two features from your class. Usually a resource, like tank gets more health and armor penalties are removed, stuff like that. Professional, like I said, gets additional points to their checks. Okay, yeah, you get that they have a thing that they get. And then the bulk of your features comes from your path, your talent, right? Your path is chosen in order. You put 20 XP into whatever it is, you level up, you get a progression step. Every path step, you get a point to put into either your checks, a class resource, or into your mana, right? So if you're a support, you want an additional inspiration is their main mechanic where they can heal, repair, do all kinds of different things with that inspiration mechanic. So you level your path, you get another one of those. Or you can just put it into one of your checks. If you're a tank and you want bigger strong boy, put more into strength. So on and so forth. Talent doesn't get that, but talent gets chosen in any order. The talent is kind of like feats, where it's like, I need this for this moment. Oh, this mission we're doing right now, we're fighting a dragon. I have an anti-dragon ability. I'll just grab that real quick. But that's also, that combination has created really fun and interesting characters. Because you get your species, you get your path, you get your talent from your class, right?
So at character creation, you get like 5 features, roughly.
Species,
like class, path, talent, species is 4, but sometimes you'll get an extra one.
Path and talent is only 1. Species also does have 2 very infrequently. Has a sub thing like some of the winged
flyers,
creatures
all the
have
flyers,
one.
yeah.
All the flyers. Yeah. It was just an easier way than like all the vampires have the sunlight sensitive, the curse of the undead as their thing. So you have 2 halves make the whole and a species. Like those 2, the path and the talent creates these really interesting things. Like we had Builder made a plague bringer, like it was some interesting, like intelligent sort of talent.
It was a plague bringer
werewolf.
detective.
Yeah.
No. I was thinking not your werewolf one. You did We did a one shot where you were a plague bringer or something or else. You were like a learned fella, and you were like you were a bioweapons engineer. Essentially, is what the narrative sort of took on because of the 2 halves that you made.
How many paths and talents does each class have?
Each class has 12 paths, 12 talents, because there's 12 origins. The origins are things that's basis of all magic, and honestly more than that. It's the basis of the world itself. You got your dragon magic, crystal. You got your undead life, energy, tech, stuff like that. So I just built around those.
Huge number of combinations.
So 144 just for the path and talent. And then you have 171 options for species. That's it's crazy list.
Way too many.
Yeah. And then the class is also where you get your equipment, So
to anybody hearing these numbers and thinking, fuck, that's way too many. I give you a challenge to pick a character in media that you like and try to make that character.
That is how you go about it.
It's way easier to do that.
I've been making at the end of a lot of my tattoo sessions.
The name of that one looks cool.
At the end of most of my tattoo sessions, with anybody that's remotely nerdy, I'll have them make a character, and everybody it is daunting at first, and then they just see something that sparks, and the character's done in 5 minutes. My favorite thing about the system is being done with character creation.
Keyword there, key number there is 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It takes
key metric there
a short amount of time to create a character compared to
5 minutes. You know what I'll say? It takes 5 minutes on the computer, right?
Yes.
If you're using one of the things that I've made to make character creation easier, 5 minutes for sure. if you were writing this pen and paper, it might take 20.
Might take you a half hour. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's just because writing
Sometimes
everything.
Sometimes D&D, even with
Yeah.
like the less choices, it takes like an hour to create a character.
Yeah. Because it's also, you're trying to make the decision between two things that you almost want, and maybe reflavoring things in a way that you like. I also don't have a lot of like weird rules where it's like, I'm gonna forego this so that I can get a feat, and then I also get these abilities from my background, which is it always it always confused me, the background part of things. They have overhauled a lot of this stuff. I haven't played the new rule set, the 5.5, and I know that they cleaned a lot of that up, but you just get those options in mind. You don't make any other decisions at character creation. You just start playing after that. We do end up taking on a session 0 about 2 hours last time to make characters. But that's because we get into a campaign. Yeah. And then people like going back and forth, like, hey, what are we making? How are we going about this kind of stuff?
Gel the party and all that jazz. Make sure we're synergy.
Yeah. So classes, big fan of where they're at. Big fan of the character. The biggest two big compliments. One, I don't know if it's a compliment. One of my friends made a character, and I'm going through all the different options and stuff, and he's like, "You weren't inspired by anything." So what? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? It's like, it just feels like this is just something you made. This isn't like, it's reminiscent of media from other things, but this is just something specifically you made.
You're blazing the trail. There is no similar thing to what you're saying.
What do you mean? I think what it sounded like he was trying to say is that this sounds unique. Extremely original and unique.
Yes,
you know?
that's what he was trying to say, and I just like, I don't like how you said it.
He said it like an insult.
But the biggest compliment. He's a fun fella. Shout out to Paul. Yeah. Shout out all Pauls. You know, Paul Malls.
For real.
Anyways,
and rest in peace to Walker.
You didn't have to do that, man. Yeah.
I mean, you said all Pauls.
You're right, and I said that. Where were the second compliment. The second compliment was from one of the people that was play testing on the Saturday group, a guy named Sam. He said, "This system has allowed me to create a character I did not know I wanted to create, and all of the options bring a lot of ideas immediately to the to the forefront of like, oh, this guy is like, oh, what if this and that, or she could be this, like, what if that, and then it just sort of spirals out, and then everybody, I feel like everybody gets really excited once it's like, all right, so all of our characters are done. Go ahead and tell me what you made here, or describe them in a scene, and it's just like, yeah, you guys aren't ready for what I've done.
So that leans into the bit I was saying earlier about like the a lot of Check20 just helps you tell the story. Like, you don't have to ask for a rule of cool. Like, there's so much stuff here for you to just play with.
Speaking of asking, you don't have to ask if you hit. You immediately know if you hit.
Yeah, that's so nice.
Yeah, DC 15.
You immediately know.
15
player. You just start, okay, I hit, I do successes, I handle 15, this, and this.
12? I think stress push is still 3 points, right? So 12 minimum?
4 points of damage for 3 points to the check.
3 points on the roll.
But that's
it's really funny when we play. We play a lot in Roll20, almost primarily in Roll20. And when we play and we roll, there's like a split second that you see the purple box before you see the number, so you can see that it's it's a single digit or a double digit, and you're like, fuck.
Moving on. So that one thing I want to talk about, that going back to horizontal scaling and the 15 success system, right? This was heavily inspired by Numenera, the cipher system. Really awesome system. It's all very built on just a number scale. I loved it. It's really awesome for people from the other side, the narrator side, right? What's fun is that 15 succeeds means any goblin low-level creature can walk up to the party and hit them at any point throughout your character's career in the game. They can always get hit by anything because it just needs it's tough to get a 15 when you're rolling, raw. Pretty fucking possible though, right?
Yeah.
And then
chance.
I'll have to get into monsters a little bit. So monsters, again, inspired by Numenera, just have a power level. Whatever their power level is all of the stats of the monster essentially built into it. Power level 5, their health would be 25 because 5 times 5. So the PL squared is their health. They deal 5 additional damage. They have a +5 to their checks. Now that changes a little bit recently. They have a total of 5 in physical or mental, right? So a monster either has all physical, it has 2 stats, because I don't want to sit there and be like, oh, he's got 3 intellect, he's got 20 this, he's got 10 this, he's got nothing here, negative here. That's fiddly. I don't like fiddly bits when I'm trying to run a monster. Monsters need to be so quick, so easy. Which also means minions. Also means minions are quick and easy too. So they either have physical, high mental, and those can adjust, but it is equal to their PL. So if it's a goblin, strong goblin, PL 5, just all physical, means he's going to deal additional 5 damage. They're going to hit that much easier with a +5. You just need to roll a 10 on average. Just the middle of the dice is the average of a dice. It's gonna hit. And it's fun. It also means the small threats are still threats. Do you guys got anything to say about like monsters or anything? You guys have fought monsters, actually. You haven't run a lot. Well, actually Troll unfortunately has run a lot.
Yeah.
I've done a little bit too. Yeah,
I have a bit about that. So like in 5e, I did a lot of one-shots when COVID hit. I was on like a pickup server game for D&D. And I would always ask the DM, was that fun for you? Words. Mm-hmm. And the replies were varying. And it oftentimes was when the party succeeded and meshed way too well. The DM felt like they didn't get to play. They're like, I'm just going to throw these things at you and you just destroy everything I throw at you, which like is not necessarily fun for the narrator. But like, to your point that you were mentioning earlier, like level 5 was the sweet spot for D&D because you're still vulnerable to random things. Like you don't have a 35 AC for no reason. Like you're still going to get hit by random things. And this change in this dynamic of just the dice roll equals success. There's nothing to compare it to. Makes it easier for both sides to play.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the player finding out what the PL is also is part of the tactics too. Okay, so he's always gonna have a 5. How can I manage that? Oh, they're physical. I just need to lock them out. Cool.
Right.
Speaking of locking out, we should talk about advantage, disadvantage. Advantage and disadvantages.
We move on too far. I wanting to mention something about character creation and comparing it to D&D. I've played so many D&D games where we just always start out at level 3, because I feel like that's when you get your things, and creating a character in Check20 feels like starting out at level 3 in D&D
minimum, but
it's like
what I find interesting to that or
Yeah.
what I've made interesting. I guess it's not what I find. Like, I made it. I put a lot of effort towards maintaining that feeling of level 5. You do not every progression step get 10 HP, 10 armor, or anything like that.
Yeah.
At the end of a campaign, you have nearly the same amount of wounds or health that you started the game with. You get health just from agility plus strength. That's it. If you're a
You should have
mage,
a shit ton
and
more abilities.
if you're a mage and you do not put any points into agility or strength, you have 1 HP minimum. You're not going to start out dead. You just start in injuries. But yeah, but you're going to have a lot of things you can do to protect yourself. You have awesome spells that you can cast to, surround yourself with minions or a building. I do have a structure spell.
I think one of the cool things that you introduced to your system, and I think D&D kind of
Missed.
missed, but they introduced it in the 2024 rules as what is there like a word when you guys create something equal, like similar but accidentally at the same time? I don't know, but
I know
you did it first. Yeah,
Coincidence?
that we
it
know
is
of,
a coincidence
like,
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
we know of. They might have stolen it from you, but I'm talking about progression items. D&D
right.
now has ancient weapons that let you gather spell points and add abilities to your weapons,
Yeah.
and buy abilities into your weapons.
I
That
probably
was one of my
should
favorite things about
I
Check.
love progression items.
probably
Before
talk
Check
about
20
that.
existed, that was
Yeah.
a Shrekel's homebrew thing. And that was my favorite
Yeah.
part about playing.
So in D&D, I would make weapons, armor, and items that basically gave you multi-classing. The long and short of it was you get multi-class out of it, basically. And I've expanded on that for Check 20, in which you can get progression items, where you just get a new way to spend your XP. What that means is you're going to find stuff in the world that even more makes your character unique, even though it was already pretty unique to begin with. Those can sometimes... we don't have a huge list of those. A lot of those we're making it up on the spot and things like that. So, and then refining it over the week till we get there next time. But those made it interesting. All of that still was like horizontal progression. You guys still would get hit with big attacks and be in injury. So death mechanic, let's get into that real quick. Let's touch on it. D&D, you get to 0 HP, you get death saves, and you are not playing until you find out if you die or not in minimum 3 turns. Or minimum 2 turns, right? If you get a crit.
Yeah, you could crit.
But you're stuck. You have to just sit there and watch everyone else play to find out. Another thing that locks you out. I have no paralyzed condition, by the way. I just want to throw that out there.
You did, and you took it away.
Yeah, it was there for a second.
Yeah, well,
We still have
it's
stunned, though.
stunned. And if you want to stop a creature from moving, you can do constrained, but it's a major conditions. Major conditions are harder to get to. To fully paralyze a creature, you mean you got to pin them and constrain them. That's several turns, and everything usually lasts until you end your next turn. So you got to do some stuff to get there. And it's probably not going to last, but you're going to have that moment, Death conditions. So you get to 0 wounds. We have wounds, not HP. And when you get to 0, you take the injured condition. While you have the injured condition, if you take any damage, you die. So moving on. That's it.
In the injured condition.
In the injured condition, you are just injured. You're just not feeling well. But it is just a little safety net. I would not allow the injured condition if you say jumped out of an airship into lava. You wouldn't be like, oh, I hit and then injured condition, right? So we're good. No, if you take a significant fall or something logical like that, you're gonna die. You're just gonna take the death condition. I brought that up Sunday. Builder's character was gonna jump onto a bridge. I'm like, you can do that. If you miss, you die.
But
there's boiling sand below
you.
Yeah.
Boiling sand below.
The system is not afraid of killing players. That's for sure.
It is and it's not.
What's nice about that is the player has a chance to save themselves. You don't have to rely on your party. You don't have to rely on the dice. You can drink a potion and get out of that condition. Like, it's a half action.
I think it's so fun to be like a mage or whatever, in like constantly in and out of the injured condition. Just like, can you guys please help?
You have made it a little harder to heal yourself in this game compared to
right. You gotta have a support or
Fifth
potion.
Edition.
Drink something is an off action, so you can drink a potion as an off action and still do your turn.
Gotta have the potions though.
You should talk about press-ons.
Oh yeah, we'll do that real quick. Press on was what we wanted to talk about next. So, D&D. Shout out to D&D. In D&D, you go through a fight, and then you can take an hour-long short rest after every single fight, if you wanted to. And that was... It didn't hit right to be like, that was a tough fight. Let's all get a little nap in, huh? Let's all take a little snooze. Hey, we just fought a dragon. Let's all take a nap together. One big pile.
I mean, hey, people got a cuddle.
It's true. I've removed that for the press on. I mean,
it's
I wouldn't say removed
it at first.
It's still post-fight.
Press-on's a relatively new addition. So
press-on is also theoretically not post-fight. I do have
post-scene, I guess.
I do have a one of the classes or features. I don't remember if I made it.
Okay.
And like published it, but one of them uses their press-ons to do really powerful things. Can't remember which one does that though. I've made too much. I am beyond the point of remembering what I've made at this
44
point.
options.
No, you're right. So a press-on is twice per day. You can do 2 of these today. You can do 1 long rest per day. Big surprise. Press-on is an immediate thing, just happens. You crack your neck, you adjust your armor, whatever it is.
It's like a second wind.
Yeah, essentially, you recover some HP, or your wounds, you repair some of your armor, you get some spell points back, you get your a couple of class features back, class resource back. So it's very similar to a short rest where in D&D you would roll your hit dice, and then some class features would have on a short rest do X, Y, or Z. Some things would recover. So that's fun. That's huge. Because you can also use both of them right away. And be like, I'm going to die, so I'm just going to take all these. It also removes any conditions that last for a scene, which broken is not that. Broken is still something you got to take care of. Dislocation, things like that, you need to have. It's really wise to have a support. It's really wise to have potions that remove conditions or features. Tank, they can just, during the fight, just shrug off everything. Support has their options, and then everybody else is a bit of a struggle. Mage, it's costly. It's so much more expensive for a mage to heal than it is support. Support gets like 5 inspirations a day, and you recover them really pretty easily. So you're just healing everybody, no problem. But as soon as there's no support in the group, it's like, all right, we need to be really wise about every engagement. Because why didn't we talk about this before? Let's get into this. So I was going to talk about advantage, disadvantage. We're also going to rope that into missing in Check 20. So 15 is success. We talked about that. Every 5 above, you get an additional success. We talked about that. What about 5 below? What about failure in Check 20? So getting 5 below, just 5 below, is score of 10 is a miss, and whatever you were trying to hit can now attack at disadvantage. It's called provoke. If you attack something, you will provoke it. If you miss below 10, so that 5 to 10 range, is attacking at regular, at standard, and then 5 and below is at advantage. So that's the other thing. Earlier we were talking about a little goblin running up to you and attacking you. It's probably going to, if PL1 misses, more than likely gonna miss, gets really low, you just turn around, just utterly destroy it. Now, why is that, right? Advantages in D&D, shout out D&D. In D&D, advantages roll twice, take higher. And it didn't work for Check 20 exactly how I wanted it to, because Check 20 is such a numbers game, right? There's values involved here, folks. So Check 20 is, we'll just say, advantage would be roll and add 4 to that roll, then roll again, take the higher of those results. So you roll, you get a 15, add 4 to it, it'd be 19. Roll again, whatever that is, 7. So you would not take the 7, you'd take the 19, right? Damn near a success plus.
But that's also, let's do that the other way, right? So if you roll an 11, you add 4 and you get your 15, but then you roll your second dice and you get a 19.
Right? Yeah, you take the 19, right?
Yeah.
There's a better way to say it is plus or minus 4, and then roll again, take the higher lower.
Is failing a check the only way to provoke? Like, is there opportunity of attacks if you're moving with
provoke is opportunity attack technically? Like, it is the same. It's very similar language as opportunity attack from 5e.
But if you're moving through a character's, like...
if you don't have a feature that prevents it, yes, moving through a creature's space, touching tokens,
still provokes.
Whatever it is a provoke. Unless you disengage. Disengage is a half action. Support class has unhindered movement. They do not provoke. Correct. Their movement does not trigger provoke, actually.
Yeah,
you of all people, I gotta always be on it with you. Of all people, movement does not provoke. Other things do. So the other interesting little addendum about that is missing. It's a off action. So like I said, there's action, half action, off action, movement, and then non-actions like talking. Off action is one of the most powerful actions. Beyond that of action sometimes. Off action is what you have to use for your provoke. And you get 1 a turn. 1 until the end of your next turn. Right? Until the start of your next turn, rather. Same with action. It's just 1, right? If you choose a light weapon can attack as a off action. Well, you could just on your turn attack with your action and then attack with your off action. Turn done. Text me when it's my turn again. Beer and pretzels style.
Attacks. Let's go.
I mean, it stays that way, right? We do not add another attack action of any kind specifically to all, or whatever.
Some classes,
some
have some talents.
There's a lot of tank ones that attack as a half action.
Professional too. Gets
yeah.
a lot of half action stuff.
Because you got to spread it around. So off action is where you get provoke from. Now, say you have a hefty weapon, deals 3d6 damage. All other items, mind you, do about 1d6. Longsword, flail, yeah, sure. All of the melee weapons do 1d6. All of the firearms do exploding dice, usually around 2d4s to start. It's all d4s, though. It's all d4 based. Every weapon is d6 based. I wanted to keep it really clean, keep it tight. So say you have a hefty weapon which does 3d6 as opposed to a d6. You use it as your action, and you're like, alright, well, can't do anything else till the end of my next turn. Should I use my off action? Should I do something with that? No. I want to see if these little goblins end up attacking me. They do. You get to use your off action. If they miss, absolutely destroy. You now have access to your second attack using provoke. Now, it's not the cleanest. They can hit. You could go against PL-15s. They're going to succeed every time, depending on the specific build of the monster. But so that's where advantage and disadvantage is huge, because it's not just 2 dice values getting superseded by a plus 15. It's now a math problem that can bring that 15 down a little bit more, which I find important for play. So the advantage disadvantage without that number modifier, it doesn't change those check values, those things that are locked in stone, right? Everybody's gonna have a plus 10 to something. We gotta have some way to zhuzh that around and have some fun narrative. So we talked, let me go through it. We talked how Check20 got started, messing around with stuff. A lot of what I've built was specifically built towards online play because people are zoning out between turns. Everything is dangerous. Your health is low. When you attack, provoke can happen, always. Always feels like level 5, even when you're, godlike end of the game. You have 3 progression items, your paths are full. You can do really cool stuff, but Dragon's Breath is still going to take you down to, a PL-20 dragon is going to ruin your day still, no matter what. It's going to have a lot of options against it, but it's going to ruin your day. Horizontal scaling as opposed to vertical scaling. Armor is just an additional health pool, so everybody gets armor, and they can add to that, but there's penalties. HP is low. Healing is tough. 15. I chose 15 because I was setting that for everything anyway. Even when it was high level for players, it was way more fun to set the monster at 15, double the health, than give it a AC of 20. It's like, you missed. Did you have a good turn? Cool, bye. That's missing is not fun. Let's do some other stuff to make it more fun, I try to add a lot of movement abilities for monsters because movement is so much more in Check20 than it is in D&D.
Oh, yes.
Standard movement for a creature in 5e is 30. You'll get some 35s, maybe 40. Monk maybe will get to 50 or something like that.
Yeah.
You can pretty easily get to 60 movement speed in Check20. You get every 2 agility is plus 5 movement. You start at 30, right? So plus 10 is, math. You get it. So there's a higher movement speed, which we have a lore reason for that I'm not going to get into. But that also means a lot of things can happen. This big thing we didn't talk about. You can get into short, medium, and long range a lot easier. Range is broken down into short, medium, long, or melee, reach, short, medium, long range, and known, and then everything else that could go beyond that. What that means is it's not like some narrative-only range system, right? Those each have values associated to them, but if you want to do theater of the mind and just be like, oh, they're a short range away, you can play that at the table very easily. Like, oh, they're actually a medium or a long range. It's very easy to be like, okay, so they're about this distance. Yeah, cool, let's run that. That's also pretty huge. I try my best to force logic into, or force, like, set things for everything. Like, the range is set. The spell, the mana used in spells is set to these 1, 3, 6, things like that. Whenever I can find those little things, it's really nice to lock all those down. But yeah, so with that, it's that's just another thing that helps with running the game. The narrative parts of Check20 are really easy to. You don't have to guess on a lot of stuff. There's still a lot of things that I don't know how to tell other narrators how to run that, like giving a creature the coughing condition, then holding them underwater. What does that do? It probably does a d6 of fluid damage when they cough on their turn. It makes sense because all the rules are there, and when you know the system, it's all very easy to logic out. The fixed target means you guys, the players, don't have to guess. You can just take your turns. You don't have to be like, hey, does that hit their AC? Nope, you know exactly every single time. Because you're also choosing the narrative. By having a success built into the system, you choose the narrative. It's also a little interesting choosing when to give players checks also to that point, right? Because if you know everybody in the party has a 10 to agility, you're probably not even going to ask for agility checks. Except for style. Like, hey, like, cool-wise, what'd you get? Stealth check is one of the main checks. For a group going through an area, you want to do a stealth check. Oh, the tank has heavy armor and they're loud and everything like that. Not a big deal because I need a number of successes equal to the party, right? So there's someone in the group has somehow 15 to their stealth check. They roll a 15, 30. They cover it's a professional. Or a player can go that route because every level up, if they just put into stealth, they can level that up. Yeah, and level on path your progression
path gives you raw stats.
You there's no I don't remember if I did cap 15 or not, but
it is.
Yeah, that makes sense. There's no reason to go on that.
Yeah, it's cap 15.
Yeah,
it really should be cap 14, but it's fine.
Honestly, it should, but why not?
35 versus 34. That's why.
Yeah, get out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Talk myself out of it.
So the fixed target keeps things going. Narrator does need to decide when to roll. Tiny enemies always relevant. I feel like there was something else with the 15s. No, number of successes, stuff like that. The damage tables are a lot of fun. I'm very excited to see people develop. Patty's awake. Really excited to see people develop homebrew tables for those in the future. Character building, a lot of fun, a lot of variability. I have a note here. I don't even know how to make a D&D character at this point. Action economy, a lot of movement. There is a lot of feature bloat. I
remember the last time I played D&D.
It was us. Oh no, you did a in-person.
No, I
game,
did
you? Yeah.
I did do an in-person game that was last year. Yeah.
Counterattacks with provoke. There's a lot of protecting allies.
I don't remember when last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Paying attention, you get rewarded. Yeah, is there anything else that you guys feel like
yeah.
we should just
Dear-
mechanically the basics of Check20?
Dear future narrator,
Mm.
don't be afraid to give your players things, because we will forget we have them.
Yeah, and I do have a little note on
Because
that.
there are so many features that, like, once you get to like 5 progression steps, you've got 2 talent buffs and 3 path progressions. Like, you're just like, oh, I've got 10 features, man. I forgot you gave me this item 4 sessions ago. You know, because I've barely
That's
remembered
actually
to use
that
my stealth kill ability kind of thing.
was a design choice. That is not a bug. That is a feature because it was one thing I really like about 5e is you get this kit, and in this kit you forcibly get these certain features, whether you want to or not. You're like, I'm never going to use this until one session. You're like, all right, beginning of the session, read my character sheet just so I know what I got going on. It's been a while. Like, oh, wait, this feature, we're in a thing that would be really helpful to use. Oh, cool. I know what I'm doing. And that happens with Check20 also. Like, you have so many things, but there is one slight addendum to that. You have all these things that you don't even know what you're going to do with. One special thing is you choose how you level up every level up. You choose, okay, I'm going to level up my path because I want to get to my ultimate. Or I have these specific talents that I want so that I can empower this specific ability I'd like to do for my character.
Yeah.
So that forces you to remember what you're able to do every time because it's a choice you made. It's how you built your character as you built your character is an important thing.
That's very true. Unlike in 5th edition, where it's like every 4th level you get a choice to do,
and there's
maybe something.
There's so many times. I think Druid has like a few levels where it's just like, oh, you just leveled up. You didn't get anything.
Yeah, every level is a choice.
You think you get something every level? No. Yeah, Druid. Figure it out.
And they're not levels. Even now, 4 or 5
steps.
years later, we keep saying, "Do we level up?" And it's not leveling.
It's still funny
in this game.
It's still funny.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we're at the end of the episode, and what do we do at the end of a session? Right? XP. I don't know. I don't think we talked about XP. The end of every session. How did the session go? Right? It is not you killed these monsters, so you get 2 XP for this monster, you get 3 XP for this guy. Nothing like that. It is all how the session felt. That is how much XP is awarded. And it's not just the players that set that precedent, right? The narrator, if they're having an off night, they're not, keeping things together. They're not corralling the herd of cats that is players. Session doesn't go as well. Everybody's a little upset, right? Everybody gets a little bit less XP. So I just do a number of D4s, starting at I started at a base value of 1 for like a distracted session. The whole session, everybody's just like talking about a movie that's coming out or something like that. You're getting 1 XP. You're done. Get out of here. It was fun hanging out. It was like it was fun hanging out. Here's an XP for your character.
You showed up. Here's your participation EXP.
And then there's steps above that. It was an intriguing session. It was a planning focus session, like a shopping episode would get a planning focus. And then up to action-packed session would get these huge values, right? Yeah. And I think I loved Milestone in D&D. I loved being like, you know what? It's about time you guys had a level. There you go. But now every session needs to make progression in everything because you're getting XP every session no matter what. Things are progressing no matter what. So you guys need to progress the story, otherwise it's just you're leveling up for nothing or not leveling up at all because you're just getting 1 XP a session until 20 sessions later. When you guys keep just sitting there planning something, you're not going to get anything done. Yeah. I think this is a perfectly fine place to stop. Is after the XP, as we so often do. I appreciate anybody that has stopped to watch this, if it exists anywhere.
Or listen.
Or listen. Most probably listen. I'd recommend listen. Don't look at any of this. It's not going to look good. Yet.
We are not as hot as we sound.
Alright. Later episodes, we're going to dive more into all the different things, like maybe a deep dive on just specific classes. Just a tank episode, a professional episode. After we get through all of the mechanics, all the things, the basic things that are happening in Check20, start getting into the lore of the world that me and all of my friends have been building. Check. I won't tell you how I got there. It's just been it is all ported over from the D&D worlds, and it was I'm not a run out of the book guy. Every time I look at anything in a published material, I'm like, okay, I like the idea, I like the look of what you've done here, but that's not how the lore works in my world. Adjusted those things. Players have added and killed gods in the setting, and now it's just this mishmash, but it all sort of works.
Some players have become gods in Check.
Players have become gods. With the origins, things have been really locked into place. Everything sort of fits in the setting, and it'll be really fun to go into that a little bit further and have little lore drops every now and again. Maybe even do shorter episodes called lore drops. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'll be really fun.
Everybody say goodbye. We're done.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening.
Shut up, Builder.
No.
So talkative, Builder. Jesus. This whole
Sorry.
episode, you not shut up.